Hello, party people. How are you doing? Happy New Year's Eve. I'm bringing back my weekly Instagram Live Q&A starting today. If you don't know anything about me, my name is Angie McPherson. I'm a branding photographer, marketing strategist, and hype woman for creative entrepreneurs. So welcome. Hope you're having a great last day of 2020. Can we say peace out to 2020 and hello 2021? I've got a couple questions queued up that I'm going to answer. If you're here live, hello. Please ask a question by clicking on the little question mark down below, and I'm here answering your questions. We're going to be talking about branding, marketing, photography, branding photography, building a business, mompreneurship, whatever you want to ask me. If you want to chat TV, let me know. I'm your TV junkie friend. So hello, thanks for joining. Hey, Audrey. Hello. Okay, so I'm going to pull up a couple of questions here. Let's see. This question, what did you post as you pivoted into branding photography? So this is a great question because if you're trying to be a branding photographer, or any business owner at all, you definitely want to be posting to share things with your ideal client so they'll be more keen to book with you in whatever you're doing. So branding photography, specifically, what did I post? So in the beginning when I started to pivot from wedding and portraits. So I did wedding and portraits for about 6-7 years and then pivoted into branding photography. So what I posted was my own branding photos. You have to practice what you preach. If you're trying to be a branding photographer, that should be the number one thing you're posting when you pivot is your own branding photos. You want to show people how important having branding photos in your business is. So your website, your social media, your email marketing, anywhere that you're showing up online as a branding photographer, post your own branding photos so people can see how fun they are, how it's easy for you to relate to your ideal client, and they'll be wanting to do the same. So your own branding photos, you want to post your clients' branding photos. So if you're working with branding clients already as a photographer, you want to post pictures of your clients, talk about their transformations, have they totally transformed their Instagram feed with your branding photos, really hype up your clients and show that, other people are getting branding photos taken and they're killing it. And you want your ideal clients to want to do the same thing. So also, I posted behind the scenes. Oh my gosh, that's like my number one way to really show people what I'm doing, show them how fun it is, how easy it can be and not stressful to have branding photos taken. And how much, the return on investment is, because I'm showing them the behind the scenes. So it might be a time lapse of me shooting somebody, styling something, or if I'm shooting someone who creates jewelry, she's working with the item. So I'm showing the behind the scenes, and then I'm also showing the transformation. So the photos that come from the shoot. So I'm showing them, a video of me working, doing the shoot, might be a time lapse of me editing the photos. And then I'm showing them the high resolution, high quality, beautiful custom branding images that I gave my clients. So they're seeing from start to finish. Also, one of the number one things, I feel like they're all number one things. A big thing when you're posting as a photographer, pivoting into branding, you want to be educating your clients. So telling them why branding photos are so important, where they can be putting their branding photos. So showing them all the different places online and on social media, even in print. If they do print ads, or if they're in magazines, or they're featured on a podcast, they're going to need a headshot for the podcast feature. So many different ways people can use branding photos. So if you are a branding photographer, you want to be educating your clients on why they need them, how the planning and the shoot's going to go, how they can use them. So many ways to educate your clients. You can be sharing where, if you're a local branding photographer, where around your city that you can be taking branding photos, what types of locations, prop ideas, hairstyle ideas, earrings, whatever you want to share to get your ideal clients hyped up for getting their own shoot done. So great question. We've got a couple questions in the group here. Let's see. TV question. Have you watched Bridgerton? Yes, I am on episode 3. So no spoilers. I am on episode 3. It's so good. I try to stay away from it because I saw the promo poster and I was like, it looks kind of royal. Maybe I can kind of wait on that. But then I saw it was a Shonda show and I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be juicy. So yes, I am on episode 3. I'm watching episode 3 tonight. Moni Lynn, can I still join the alumni group for branding? Yes, if you are a current or past student of my branding photography course, I do have a monthly membership that goes on after the course, yes, shoot me an email and I'll send you all the information. And we can get you in there, girl, because it's like a little mastermind. We meet twice a month on Zoom, and I've got some awesome guest speakers lined up for 21. So just shoot me an email. She watched Bridgerton all one day. I love it. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see. Ooh, good one. How did you get your start in branding photography? So this is another fun one to answer. So I started by starting. I literally was like, okay, I'm gonna do this branding photography thing. What can I do to get started? First thing I did was get my own branding photos taken, like I talked about earlier. So my girl Crystal and I actually met up. We had our hair done by a professional, makeup done. Oh my gosh, we had like 5 to 7 outfits. And we went all through our town to a couple different locations. We shot some in our office. We had a shared office at the time. We shot some out at like a city center location. We went to a parking garage. I wish I had these queued up. We went to a parking garage and shot some. I think I had like a couple different outfits. So like a dress. I think I had a Harry Potter shirt, a romper or a jumper, something like that. And we shot for hours and we had so much content. It looked like, you know, I had my hair up, I had my hair down, I had different jewelry on, different clothes. It looked like we shot over the course of days, but it was really just a couple of hours of us swapping back and forth. So if you are a photographer and you're trying to get branding photos taken of yourself, swap with somebody. Go out and get some outfits and do a lot of behind the scenes. Show people what you're doing. Show them how fun it is to have branding photos taken and that you take it seriously because you're getting them done yourself. And get them up there. So that's the first thing that I did when I got started was get my own branding photos taken because I didn't have a portfolio really yet. So I wanted to start talking about it and start educating about it with photos. So the easiest thing was to have photos of myself and I could tell them how much branding photography is doing for my own business. I had photos of Crystal because we swapped, so she was a client. And then the second thing I did was build my portfolio by any means necessary. I mean, that is such a huge tip for when you're getting into branding photography. So many people say, where do I start? How do I build my portfolio? Build your portfolio by any means necessary. You know, if you are not ready to start charging for it yet, grab an entrepreneur friend. I'm sure we all have people who own have friends who own businesses, especially if we are a business owner ourselves. We kind of run in the same, paths, So hit somebody up. Even if you got a girl that does your hair, be like, hey, can I take some branding photos of you styling somebody's hair, washing somebody's hair? If you got a girl that does your facials or your nails or makes, custom jewelry down the street or builds things like, hey, can I come and take some branding photos? It doesn't have to be a full-blown 3-hour shoot. You can literally go to someone's house or someone's work, place of business and just spend 20 to 30 minutes getting a variety of branding photos. So if you really want to leverage getting your portfolio built, shoot one person in 3 different outfits or 2 different earrings, or I keep saying earrings because my earrings are so big and I keep looking at them, or a couple different, locations or from different angles, and really build up that portfolio of your clients because you'll be able to talk about them numerous times. You'll be able to post helpful blog posts or send emails with all different types of photos because you've built your portfolio. So 2 tips for getting started in branding photography. 1, get your own branding photos taken, put them out there. And 2, build your portfolio by any means necessary. If you want to start charging, do your thing, charge full price and build that portfolio while you're doing it. But by any means necessary, get your portfolio built, put it on your website, social media, start working on a pricing guide and definitely put some images in the pricing guide. I have my pricing guide on Canva, which is super easy, free, drag and drop. And so when you're sending over your pricing, you're showing them, here's the price, but also look at all the beautiful types of photos that you're going to get. So those are my biggest tips. All right, let's see here. We've got a couple new people here. Hello, happy New Year's Eve. When does that other course release again? I'm releasing my branding photography course in January. Oh my gosh. So you can sign up for the waitlist in my link in bio and you'll be the first person notified for all the details. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions from the chat. Let's see. TV talk, alumni talk, Great. Okay. We have another question. Kaya says, so helpful. Oh, great. I'm glad that was helpful. Audrey, my girl. Audrey says, thoughts on specialized photographer versus jack of all trades. Audrey coming through with the hard-hitting questions. I love it. So I was specialized as a wedding photographer for years before I started branding. Well, weddings and portraits. So portraits were just couples. You know, I don't really shoot a lot of families. I maybe shoot them once or twice a year during mini sessions, but I don't go out and shoot a full family session. So for years, I was specialized in weddings and basically couples. So engagement sessions, anniversaries, just because, couples basically. And then when I transitioned into branding, I dubbed myself as a wedding and branding photographer. And I did that for a couple of years. And it wasn't like I was doing weddings and brandings and pets and seniors and whatever. I did so many different types, or I didn't do so many types, I just did my two. And then I went basically just to branding. So I knew ahead of time I was starting branding to basically streamline into branding. So I had that, you know, in mind. To answer your question, thoughts on specialized photographer versus jack of all trades. Jack of all trades can definitely narrow you down when it comes to referrals, because when people say, hey, I'm looking for a senior photographer, when they ask someone that, they immediately think of the people who specialize in senior photography. So my opinion is you don't want to do a million different things because you want to be top of mind when it comes to something. So when I had my in between the wedding and branding, those were my specialties and that was it. So when someone said, I'm looking for a wedding photographer, people still thought of me. I'm looking for a branding photographer, people still thought of me. But if I was all of these things and you went to my website and there were all these things to choose from, like I said, it's hard for people to see you as a specialist, you know, keep you top of mind when they're referring. So in my opinion, just my advice is to keep it small. Keep your niches small and really dive into those things on your website, on your social media, and make yourself the specialist. Position yourself as the authority in those niches. Niche or niche? Audrey says, I always get this question from family and friends and never know how to explain the importance of specializing. Yes, it is so important because people will still email me all the time asking for not all the time, but they used to, newborn photos or senior photos, completely things that I didn't even do. And I'm like, I don't know why you're reaching out, because I can give you referrals, but I don't do this. There's nothing on my website about this. There's nothing on my social media about seniors and newborns, but I have some great referrals for you. So definitely want to specialize wherever you are online with whatever you're doing so that you'll be getting the right people in your inbox. You'll be getting the right people to refer you for the right clients, because you don't want to just start doing a bunch of different stuff that you're not a jack of all trades at. What's the word? It's like if you're a jack of all trades, like you do everything not to the best of the abilities. So focus on doing what you do best and putting that out there. Okay, let's see. Kaya says, how do you price branding sessions? I think I'm a little scared people won't want to pay. All right, the money talk. First thing when it comes to the money talk, when you want to price yourself to make a profit, start with sharing about the return on investment. So before you so let's just say on your website, on your pricing page, or in your pricing guide. And this goes for any industry. Anytime you're selling your services with where they can see the dollar amount, don't start with the dollar amount. Tell them everything that's amazing about your experience, your service, what the return on investment could be, the transformation they have before you even put the price out there. So they're reading and envisioning their brand. So if you're a branding photographer, they're envisioning your brand transforming. It'll be less of a sticker shock when they get to the price, because I do that all the time. If I'm looking for a website designer or, something like that, I want to know before I even see the price, what am I getting from this package? If I'm looking for a new website designer and at the top of her website, it says $5,000, I'm going to be like, okay. But if she's going through and showing me her experience, her samples, her portfolio, and walking me through how my website's going to transform and how having a brand new custom website is going to make me 3x what I've made last year or 2x what I make in a month, and then I see the $5,000, okay, I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to see what my $5,000 is going to give me back return on investment. So to answer your question, when you're pricing your branding sessions, specifically, I price per session. So instead of an hourly rate, I will do, a 3-hour branding session is X amount of money. If they want to book 4 sessions in a year, there might be an incentive. So it might be like an extra coaching call or, maybe hair and makeup added. You can really customize your pricing so that it makes sense. So like I said, for me, what I talk about in my course is to price it by the session and to incentivize people working with you over and over and over. Because I want personally the same clients over and over because I get to know their brand. I get to be more comfortable with them. And so by the 3rd session, it's like we're BFFs just hanging out, taking pictures. I want to work with the same people over and over and over and build that clientele. So don't be scared that people won't pay. Just be confident in the service that you provide, the images that you take, the experience that you give, and things cost money, and building a business costs money, and people that you want to work with are not going to be trying to nickel and dime you. You don't want to be working with people that nickel and dime you. I'm happy when someone tells me their budget, even if it's lower, because I say, okay, she has a budget of X amount. We're not able to work together, but I can refer her to somebody else. And I feel good about that because if she's trying to stretch her budget and it just doesn't make sense. If someone's not in your budget at all, like they don't have the money and they're never going to book you, that's fine. That's fine if they don't want to pay. Refer them to somebody else, build a relationship with that other photographer so that you're referring people back and forth. But the people who want to work with you are going to make it work. I have invested in things where I literally did not have the money, but that person made me feel, for an example, not a real example, for an example, that person, if it's a website designer, if she makes me feel and I can see in her work and experience that I'm going to 3x my revenue this year, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to book some more mini sessions. I'm going to try to book some different types of sessions. I might do some strategy calls. I might sell something. Like, people who want to work with you and see the value that you provide are going to make it happen. So don't be afraid that people don't want to pay, because some people don't want to pay. I still get inquiries where people are like, oh, it's outside of my budget, and that's fine. I like referring people. Okay. Welcome to the new folks. Liz is here. Hey, girl. Henry's here. Hello, friends. All right, let's see. Does the type of branding session affect the pricing? So I do product photography now. My product photography is so much different than my branding photography. My product photography is a type of branding session. It's when they send me products to my home. Knock on wood, I get to keep the products. That's always a nice little perk. And so I price it differently. I price by the photos that they're getting. I definitely price it by the photos. So example, if they want to have a gallery of 10 images for eBay, like e-commerce photos, or I frequently work with a client who uses the photos for her Amazon page. And so she's like, hey, I just need 10 photos of these products for Amazon. I don't need to go out and do a million photos because she just needs the 10. And so I price them by the number of photos. But from branding shoots, you can have, I've done branding mini sessions like once or twice a year. So that's different pricing from a full branding session, because branding minis are only 20 minutes back to back to back. So I have to also factor in if I'm doing this at a co-working space. So I have to pay the co-working space. So to make sure everything kind of like lines up price-wise, where I'm not going out of my pocket for renting any type of studio or co-working space. And then the branding session, like I said, I have basically 1 3-hour branding session for me that I offer. And if they want more, they want more time, they can pay an a la carte rate for more time. If they want to add on, a lot of people want to add on more like Zoom calls where we can talk about how to use these photos in different ways. So there's so many ways when you're a branding photographer that you can customize things and bring in more revenue by really helping your clients transform their entire brand. So good questions here. Let me see. I'm pulling this back so I can see better. Got bad eyes. All right, Nina's here. Amanda, welcome. You guys are so awesome. I think that's all the questions that I have. If you have any more questions, let me know. Like I said, if you're interested in all things branding photography on the client side, like getting your branding photos taken, the link in my bio, you can click on the personal branding photography checklist. That'll give you a ton of ideas for getting your own branding photos taken and what type of photos you need in your business. If you're a photographer and want to get into branding photography in 2021, if you want to pivot, any Friends fans, if you want to pivot, my course is launching soon. So join the course waitlist. I know it's been a crazy year, especially for photographers. in 2020, especially wedding photographers. I have lost weddings this year. I've had weddings moved to next year. And you know what saved me? Branding photography, because you can reschedule that without having to worry about 200 people coming to your wedding and all that stuff. Branding and product photography has literally saved my business this year. So if you're interested in doing that in 2021, hit up the waitlist. I will be happy to send you info as soon as I'm ready to put that out there. Ooh, I got one more question before I get off because it's a good one. What if they are using photos for commercial use? Does that change anything for you? So when you are a branding client of mine, you get a commercial contract, commercial release. So when I do a portrait session, or a wedding, you get a wedding contract or a portrait contract, and those people should not be using their photos for marketing and advertising purposes unless they email you and say, hey, somebody wants to send a magazine, But my branding clients are all considered commercial clients. So they included in their package, they get a commercial release, commercial contract, all that stuff. So they are able to use their photos for commercial use, aka to make money with marketing, which is why your branding prices should be high, because people are using it to make money. They're not using it to put up on their walls above the fireplace like a wedding photo or a portrait photo. You are helping your clients make money. Let me repeat. Branding photographers, you are empowering your clients to make money. So charge what you are worth. Okay. That's enough of my soapbox right there. Oh, so many good questions as I'm getting off. Amanda says, for Amazon products, how are you actually creating the white background? Photoshop or Lightroom and lighting around the product. So I wish I had them in here. I use whiteboards. If I have like one or two products that are small, I'll just set up can you see? I can't even see myself. Okay. Like a whiteboard that I get from Walmart or Target, like this, like an L shape, and I'll put the product in front. Or if I have a bigger shoot, I have the pull down white backdrop from Amazon. And I have a product photography gear list in my link in bio if you want all the links to this stuff. I'll take everything out of my office and pull this pull down with the white backdrop, and it's pristine white. And so I'll pull it into Lightroom. I don't do too much in Photoshop for products. I'll pull it into Lightroom, and if there are any shadows, I'll bring the shadows down. If there are any lines, then I'll just clone those out so it's a nice pristine white backdrop. Great question. Ivory says, should you get branding photos if you're just starting a podcast? Yes and yes. If you're getting a podcast, first of all, you need podcast artwork. You need a photo for your podcast. Don't just put your logo in your podcast. When I'm looking for podcasts, I love seeing people's faces. I want to know who's the face behind the voice because I can't see them. Second of all, you want to be talking about your podcast all the time. You want to be talking and promoting it whenever you have a new episode or whenever something's happening and you had an episode that's relevant. You want to be talking about your podcast all the time. So you need multiple branding photos of you to talk about the episode. If you're just pitching the podcast, you need product or branding photos of you with a microphone, with headphones, working in wherever you're doing the podcast. If the episode is about planning, you need branding photos of you writing in a planner or putting something in a calendar. If your podcast is about wine, you need photos of you sipping wine. There are so many ways you can use branding photos as a podcaster. So you 100% should be getting those done. And frequently, maybe twice, 3 times a year to switch up with the seasons. You might have a new season of your podcast. You might have different topics. So get those done. Oh my gosh. If you need any referrals, if anybody needs referrals in your market and we're not nearby, I'm in Virginia. 1, I can fly to you. But 2, I do have a directory of branding photographers who've gone through my course and that are in my alumni group that I would be happy to send to you. Matter of fact, it's angiemcpherson.com/directory. If you want to see those people, angiemcpherson.com/directory. They've all gone through my course and they're vetted, and I talk to them on Zoom monthly. So I highly refer them. All right. So let's see. Elizabeth said, yes, and even as a guest, you need nice headshots. Yes, exactly. Anytime I'm on a podcast and they ask for a headshot, I'm like, oh, I've got plenty of them. Take your pick. So just get those headshots, even if you want to start just getting headshots, get headshots. If you have no photos of you in your business, start with headshots. Okay. I think that's all I have. in the queue. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. Happy New Year's Eve. I'll see you next year in 2021, and I'm claiming it's going to be so much better than 2020. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM, and I'll see you guys next week on my Instagram Live Q&A. See you later.